Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and the Houston Texans have lost to the Miami Dolphins 15-30 and get their ninth loss of the season, 9-1. Get a win from the Dolphins as they go to 8-3 and are trying to win a division title. So, good stuff from them. They have a good team. And the Texans, who looked absolutely awful in the first half, started to put some answers in the second half, but it wasn't enough. The Titans, I almost said I did say the Titans. The Dolphins at the end of the game, it was to the point where they took out Tua, put in Skylar Thompson. They weren't even really trying at that point. I think if the Dolphins would have tried, it would have been like 47 to 14, to be honest. But instead they take out Tua, who I think was sacked like 3 times in the third quarter. And at one point, the Dolphins were probably thinking, we got to get him out of here. Focus on we're up 30-0. We got to get our quarterback out before the Texans sack him again and he gets hurt, which that's been a big problem for Tua, is getting injured. So they took him out for safety reasons, and they did not put him back in, even when the Texans brought it back to 15 and even got the ball back down 15. So, yeah, I thought Kyle Allen did good in the second half as well. He looked all right. I'll be honest. I think he looked better than Davis Mills, but I don't think he looked that much better than Davis Mills. Not that much better, just a little bit better. So let's go over the scoring summary, Jace. In the first quarter, the Dolphins scored twice, and it's a Jason Sanders 45-yard field goal, and then it's a touchdown from Durham Smythe, 4-yard touchdown from Tua, then it's 10-0. The Dolphins score 4 times in the second quarter. A Jeff Wilson 3-yard run touchdown, a Jason Sanders 23-yard field goal, an Xavier Howard 16-yard fumble return touchdown. And then now Jeff Wilson, going back to the Jeff Wilson touchdown, that was because Davis Mills threw a pick and they returned it to the 3, and then Jeff Wilson runs it in. Then Sanders knocks in a 35-yard field goal. So then we go into halftime. Then with 8 minutes remaining, the Dolphins take out Tua. The Texans get the ball back. They Dere Ungabonwell. I know I didn't say his name right. I heard his name in the game. Ungabuwell. That's not right, but he runs it in for a 3-yard touchdown. I'm going to get his name right. I'm going to learn that. I'm going to pronounce that right next time. And now the 2-point conversion was no good. They ran DeRay ran it up for the 2, just short. Then the Texans get the ball back on a fumble as the Dolphins fumble, and Kyle Allen throws a 25-yard touchdown pass to Jordan Akins, who had a good game. Then they go for 2 again. This one fails as well. It's 12-30. Then Kyle Allen drives the Texans down the field, 8 plays, 57 yards, was just short of a touchdown. And they go for the field goal, 28-yard field goal, and it was 15-30. So, yeah, the Texans, they didn't have the best game today, but I thought they had an alright second half, but that didn't do anything for us. So let's go over stats. Kyle Allen was 26 for 39 today, 215 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. I'll give him an excuse on one of the interceptions. The last interception, they were down 15. He was taking a shot down to the goal line. It was a shot to Brandon Cooks. He was trying to take it down to the 10-yard line. It was I thought it was a good throw. And whoever intercepted that, I forgot who intercepted that. Let me see if I can find out who intercepted that. We're gonna find out in a minute who intercepted that. But whoever intercepted that, they outplayed Brandon Cooks on that play, and I thought it was a good throw by Kyle Allen. It was just a better defensive play from the Dolphins. So I thought he looked all right today. I thought there were some awful things that he did in the first half, but the Dolphins' defense, which is one of the best defenses in the NFL, brought pressure to him. That was a big thing. And I think for a team that he was playing one of the best teams in the NFL, I think he looked all right today. Tua was 22 for 36 with 299 passing yards and 1 touchdown. And to think he basically only played in the first half, that's crazy. Skylar Thompson, when he was out there, they were really just running the ball. He was 1 for 5 with 6 yards. Rushing, DeRay with 4 carries, 14 yards, 1 touchdown. Longest was 9. And another disappointing game for Dameon Pierce. 5 carries, 8 yards. Kyle Allen, who was the second most leading in rushing, he had 4 carries and 12 yards. His longest was 5. For the Dolphins, Wilson with 13 carries, 39 yards, 1 touchdown. Gaskin, 6 carries, 17 yards. Receiving for the Texans, Aikens with 5 receptions, 61 yards, 1 touchdown. Longest was 25. Cooks with 5 receptions, 59 yards, 0 touchdowns. Nico Collins with 6 receptions, 44 yards. All 3 of those guys, they had a good game. Pierce, just another disappointing game. He had 3 receptions, 8 yards. Tegan Quintenario had 2 receptions, 20 yards. Burkhead, who got hurt in this game, hope he's okay. He had 1 reception, 5 yards. For the Dolphins, we knew this was going to be a problem. And the key to the game, when I was talking in the pregame, I said the keys to the game, you got to stop Waddle and Hill. That's the first thing the Dolphins went to. Would not stop going to Waddle and Hill. That was a big problem. Waddle had 5 receptions, 85 yards, and Hill had 6 receptions and 85 yards. And Kraft had 4 receptions and 55 yards, and Shorefield had 2 receptions and 33 yards. Fumbles for the Texans. The Texans fumbled 5 times a day. Only lost 1 of them, but 5. Okay, one of the fumbles the Texans recovered. One of those fumbles was a good thing. So MJ Stewart recovered a fumble for the Texans to help them score a touchdown. So besides that, the Texans fumbled 4 other times. Only one that was lost was the Texans lost. Jordan Akins fumbled, which was an awful play. That was the fumble. Davis Mills completed a pass to Davis Mills. Kyle Allen threw a pass to Jordan Akins, which was complete. He got the shit knocked out of him, and Xavier Howard got on the ball, took it to the house. That was the only Texans fumble that lost. There was a couple plays that the Texans, there's those 3 other fumbles where the Texans got hit and fumbled, but they recovered their own fumble. For the Dolphins, they fumbled once. They recovered a fumble, which was the Xavier Howard touchdown. Skylar Thompson fumbled, and the Texans recovered. The Texans had 5 sacks a day. So did the Dolphins. They had the same amount of sacks, which was impressive. Malik Collins had himself 2 sacks. The leader in tackles for the Texans today was Jalen Petre. He had a good game. Christian Kirksey had 7 as well, so they kind of tied for the most. But Petre's, all his tackles were solo. So, King had 6, and Reethan Maben had 6. Sacks. So tackles for losses. Malik Collins had 3 tackles for losses and 2 sacks. Hanson had a sack. Mario Addison had a sack. Who else got in the sack party? Kirksey had a sack. So that's 3, that's 4, that's 5. So it's 5 sacks. Interceptions. So the interception that I was talking about, I can't remember. So McKinley had an interception, and Van Ginkel had an interception for the Dolphins. Those were those 2 interceptions. Kick returns, Trenton Smith, 2 kick returns, 33 yards. Longest was 19. And then punt returns, 2 punt returns from Smith, 43 yards. King had 3 punt returns, 38 yards. I'm not going to go forward. Farron Barron hit 1 field goal and did not take any extra points because on the 2 Texans touchdowns, they went for 2 on both. So, I thought the Texans had all right second half, but still there was a lot of mistakes in this game. But I thought Kyle Allen looked all right. And that's really it for the video. Let me know your thoughts on the game, and peace out. Go Texans.